Everyone, okay, I'm going to try and explain position and size dimensions using a very simple sketch. I've got the sketch, it's on the front plane, let's edit it. And what I've done here is I have shown the grid, and I've got these grid spaces at 10 millimeter intervals. So that means simply that whenever you see a dotted gray line, it is 10 millimeters from the next, whether you're going in the X or the Y direction. And then I've put these two lines in here. I'm going to delete them for a second. Normally you just get these two tiny arms, and so I'm putting these lines in to help you understand that that short arm there represents the X axis, which is in red, which corresponds with SolidWorks' X axis of red, and then the Y axis in green. Okay, so there you can see it's green. All right, so that's just to help us understand what is going on with size positions, because position dimensions, they are always parallel to either the y-axis or the x-axis. Not always in every case, but always in some way or another, sometimes by inference or by dependence. Okay, so I'm going to use a point, just 2 points, and I'm going to place them, and when I place them, I'm going to say they are located, not positioned. So let's just understand the language that I'm going to use. So I'm going to put the snap on, and I'm simply going to locate one at 10 and 10 and another one at 20 and 10. So you can see that these are located at 10 and 10. If I select it, you can see in the properties bar, this says control vertex parameter. It's a fancy way of saying it's at 10 millimeters X coordinates and 10 millimeters Y coordinates. At the bottom, in the status bar, you can see the same thing, X, Y, 0. This point is at 20 millimeters along the X-axis. So that simply means it's 20 millimeters away from the Y-axis, along the X-axis, and it is 10 millimeters up from the X-axis, along the Y-axis. If I try and position this now, in other words, let's put a dimension in, let's see what happens. Okay, so if you are activating the Smart Dimension button, you don't need to, normally you wouldn't have these two lines, so anywhere that you kind of snap or just click on this, near this position, it'll snap to the origin. At the moment, this has actually selected the horizontal line, which I don't want, so we might have to try that again. Let's go from there. Okay, now I'm going to select this point. From the moment you click on the origin, SolidWorks doesn't know whether you want to reference the x-axis or the y-axis or something else. It doesn't really care, because what it'll do is the moment you select this next point, you'll get this third dimension, this one you can pull out to the left, upwards or down, and the moment you pull your mouse either to the left or to the top or the bottom, or left or right, top or bottom, the dimension changes to being parallel to, in this case, the y-axis, or parallel to the x-axis. That's what position dimension means, parallel to one of the axes. Okay, so let's put that one in, and let's go from here again up to there, parallel to the y-axis, and now you'll see that this point has gone black. It is fully defined and fully positioned. I can't put a size in because points don't have sizes. Let's do the same with this other point from that place there, 20 millimeters along the x-axis and 10 millimeters along the y-axis, and you'll see that they've turned black. Let's backtrack a bit and show you why this dimension from the origin to that point is of no use to anyone. Because the way I've got my settings set up is once I put a dimension in, this point will be locked in to whatever that dimension says it will be. So if I drag this point out and I let go, you see it remains at 14.14 millimeters away from the origin. If I keep dragging this, and I can do nothing more than drag, you'll see that I'm describing a circle. Okay, so let's just illustrate that by using an actual circle, and getting it to snap to that same point. That's the point that we put the original point in. Oh, come on. From là to there. Okay, now that is diameter 28 point something. And I'm going to convert it to a radius. So, where are we? More dimensions? No. Display options, displays radius. Radius 14.14, and this dimension is at 14.14. So these are the same. That's what that's what you're saying. You're saying to SolidWorks, or to whoever's looking at this point is at 14.14 from the origin, and it could be anywhere along a circle. Anywhere along that circle. As long as it stays at 14.14, you're okay. I hope you understand that's why that's of no use to anyone, because you can't locate it. So let's just put these. No, we're not going to put them back in place. I want you just to remember that I had 2 points at that place and at that place. I'm going to use a line now. And if you remember from school, the definition of a line is the shortest distance between 2 points. So let's put a line in here from that point. So it's the same point as I put the first point in originally, and make sure that this point snap goes, and that's the second one. There's the line which now exists between the 2 points which I originally had. Now the thing about lines is, and arcs and all sorts of things, is that they usually have at least 2 endpoints. So that's an endpoint, and that's an endpoint. And then there's a midpoint in here as well. If you want to start dimensioning, it won't activate now because I need other dimensions before I can do that. So let's position this dimension. Remember, position is going from the origin up to that point. And that useless dimension is not going to help us. But the moment we go parallel to one of them, we've got something useful. And we put the second one in. And watch what happens to the line. It turns black, other than this point here. Okay, so I know now that if I go from that point, which is 10 millimeters parallel to the, 10 millimeters away from the y-axis, and it's parallel to it, and then 10 millimeters up from the x-axis, and it's parallel to it, and I go in a horizontal direction to a certain point, I will have fully defined this line. So I could, if I wanted to, define this endpoint. Right, 20 millimeters. I'm not going to be able to define that point without there being an error message, because I've already got one over here, that one there. So watch what happens when I put that in. SolidWorks says, do you really want that? I'm going to say no. Okay, so that's fully defined, but that's not really that useful. We really want to know if we start from that position at 10 and 10 and we go along a horizontal direction. So I can drag this out, but I cannot drag it up or down. Control Z. By, come on, 10 millimeters. That is the line. The line is positioned at 10 and 10, and then you can go along another further 10 millimeters to get to its end point. So its start point is at 10, 10, and its end point is another 10 millimeters in the horizontal direction. All right, I hope that helps you understand position dimensions. I'm going to produce another video with a triangle to explain a little bit more, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching.